Hello friends, it's me, Gumi Eons, and welcome back to my channel. So, as you can probably surmise from the title and or thumbnail of this video, I will be drawing Stranger Things screenshots into my anime-inspired art style. This is a general spoiler warning in the intro, just baked in there. I will be talking about the events of all of Stranger Things, including Season 4, which is the newest one that came out. So if you don't want to get spoiled, or you just don't care, that's completely fine too. And with that all being said, let's get into it. Alright, so we're getting into it. So the first one that we were drawing here is of Eddie Munson in the first episode of Season 4 when he and his club, the Hellfire Club, are playing D&D in I think it's the back of the theater. And it was such a fun scene, and the one thing that I'll give Stranger Things is they have really good shots, and when I'm watching the show I was like, I have to redraw some of these, so that's where the idea of this video came from. And this one of course stuck out to me because one, it's the golden retriever himself, Eddie Munson, and then I liked how his arms were sort of outstretched. I saw a lot of people redrawing this too, and I was like, I want to put my little spin on it, and I really enjoyed drawing it. I liked adding all of the sparkles, and I liked how it came out, and I think it was fun to draw because for this video, what sort of inspired it was, of course, all of the screen caps going around of people redrawing it, but as well, I want to get better at drawing backgrounds. I'm not the best at drawing backgrounds, I'm a bit rusty at it, and I'm not the most confident person when it comes to drawing backgrounds, but I decided that, when you practice something, you gotta just keep doing it until you get better at it. And you can't just avoid it for the rest of your life, because God, if I could avoid drawing backgrounds and just keeping my drawings in a white void, then that would be great. But unfortunately that's not how it works, and you need to learn how to do stuff. But this was a fun exercise to do, and having an actual background, like a real life space that you could use, was interesting. You could see when I was sketching, I sort of masked where he was and where everything else is. I used this to I wanted to keep it in place. I wanted to just keep a general, here's where he is, here's how his arms are stretched out, because unfortunately, when your arms are stretched out like that in that position, it's foreshortened. And I think you will hear a lot of artists complain about foreshortening, and I will be one of them. Foreshortening sucks ass. It's so bad. It's not fun at all to do. The backgrounds for this one, I wouldn't say that I put in the most amount of effort with this one, but I was also quite tired. But I wouldn't say that they're bad. I just wouldn't say that I put in as much effort as I usually do with my art, but I did want to get this video done on time, and I also had a lot of stuff going on that week too, so of course I worked on this as fast as I could, and that did get rid of a bit of quality, but I still like how it turned out. I think it's still sort of dynamic, and you'll see here that I just cleaning up a bunch of stuff and then coloring, which is just how my art process goes and how a lot of artist process goes. But I think this scene was really interesting to see how everybody's characters and how they react with each other, because this was before, and spoilers again before you hop in, and if you really want to go see it, then I would suggest not watching this far, but before Chrissy died, when he saw her die, it's very interesting to see the difference between how he acts versus after that event happened. It was very interesting, but he still was one of probably the best characters in this show and in this specific season. I find it interesting with Stranger Things that it's always sort of the side characters who are everybody's favorite, and I'm gonna be honest, I agree with that. I don't know why this keeps happening, because they have a lot of writers and people on their team to work on it, but I'm just confused as to why. I don't know, they just can't really nail down the main characters. I'm gonna be honest, and this is just my opinion, I like to keep my channel very happy and very, not mean whatsoever. I wouldn't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anybody who worked on the show, or if anybody ended up seeing this, I wouldn't want to be mean at all. But I don't think the main characters are quite that compelling. I don't know how they keep managing to make them, like, just for me, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this too, I'm not interested in what the main characters are doing. Like, I was interested in, like, Argyle, like, of all people. He was such a fun character to follow, but, and Eddie and stuff like that, but, like, the main characters, like, 11, I was just like, this is a drag, like, can we move on? Because this show was, like, it was longer than most movies, and especially when volume 2 came out of season 4, I was like, this is such a drag, I can't. I finished this show in less than a week, which is a bad idea, and I wouldn't recommend anybody do it, because I just felt so empty afterwards. I was so tired of everything. I just needed to lie down. I was doing other things. This is what I usually do. I put something on, and in this case it was Stranger Things, and I watched it while I was drawing or editing or doing work and, doing other things, just, or sometimes I'd sit down and intentionally watch it, but I finished it all in 1 week, and I'd say that's probably very unhealthy, but I have thoughts and feelings. I like season 1 as, like, just a one-off thing. You can tell that it was made as a one-off thing, and then the thing at the end with, like, the mind flare was just an add-in of, oh, there's a season 2 coming, just you wait. And then season 2 felt kind of, like, flat to me. I was just sort of not interested in it. I just wasn't that invested in it, and I was like, okay, come on, we're going. And then season 3 was an absolute blast. I had such a fun time watching that. It was so fun. The characters were all written quite well. The coming out scene with Robin, can we talk about that? That was really good. They didn't handle LGBTQ plus stuff in season 4 well, but they did in season 3, so we'll give them that. I liked everybody's characters in season 3, even the main characters, which was interesting. They made me care about them, finally. They did their job as a show. But then season 4 happened, and I'm a bit... I don't know how to describe it, really. I'm not upset, I'm just disappointed. I don't know, I just didn't have as much fun as I did with other series, the other seasons in it. It wasn't my bag, but I still watched it all, because I'm just me. But I enjoyed the side characters a whole lot more than the main characters. I don't know why this keeps happening, and I don't know who the writers are, but why are they making all of the side characters more compelling? Which brings me to my next screen cap redraw subject. This is of One, or Henry, or Peter, or, like, he has several thousand names, but let's just call him One. One was such an interesting character. The actor who plays him did a really excellent job of making me just creeped out. Like, every time he came on screen, I was like, why do you feel so weird? But I had such a blast drawing him. He's such an interesting character, and I loved seeing I was rooting for him. I was like, get them kids, fuck them kids. It was super fun to see his character sort of develop and see his backstory and see how he interacts with people like 11 and all the kids, and seeing how he just does tomfuckery around the town, and I thought that was really funny. And I know it was a retcon, but I think it was a retcon that was well executed. Out of all of the things that Stranger Things have pulled, I think that was well executed. You'll see that I drew Henry the day before, but I messed up. I don't know what I did, but sometimes you just have bad art days, and that's okay. But I decided to just stop working that day, and I edited some things, and I just didn't draw, because that's what happens sometimes, you just can't draw. And so I drew him the day after. This is like the footage that you're seeing. I drew this exactly the day after I drew that one, and it came out amazing. I really liked it. I know his eyes aren't positioned correctly, but I had fun, so the shadows were super fun to do. The blood splatters, I downloaded a bunch of brushes on Clip Studio Paint, and that was super fun. And I just had a blast, like, go. And this was so much more fun than the day before, and I just had a blast. And that's why he's the thumbnail. He's a thumbnail boy. Look at him go. But you see, I got my grubby little hands on a sparkle brush, and I haven't looked back since. But yeah, I had fun. The backgrounds were a bit of a difficult thing for me, but I, did it anyway. And, as backgrounds go, they're not the worst. They aren't the best, but that's okay. And you can tell that they're in a facility of some sort. Like, it's fine. I wouldn't recommend doing it without a ruler, because the ruler tool in Clip Studio Paint just saved me, and the straight line tool and the square tool and stuff like that. I want to learn how to make the background more like blurred, if that makes sense. I do want to learn how to do that. I didn't figure out how to do that for this video because I was on a bit of a time crunch, because I had to get 3 full drawings done, and sometimes it just wasn't working out and I was having difficulties. But yeah, I had fun with the shadows and the lights and like the colors and using the sort of filters. If you see any like big blobs of color just being put onto the canvas, I use filters like the soft light and multiply and stuff like that to help just give it more effects. You'll see there with the lights I used a glow effect with like white and like an airbrush, and I just put my sort of spin on it too, because I can blame my art style on this actually. With a lot of things you can't really blame your art style, but now I'm just like, yeah, I can blame it. It's my anime inspired art style. And now we're on to the last one. This was done a couple of days after I did the first 2, just because I was busy, and I did this really, I wanted to do like this, I call them the Scooby Gang, but it's Steve, Robin, Nancy, and Eddie when they were in the Upside Down and they were looking up at the thing and it was all red. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen. But I wanted to do that, but it was just too complicated. There were like 4 people in it. It was going to take a while and I just didn't have the time, unfortunately. So I was like, okay, what's like a scene that I would want to do as well? And I was like, boom, Chrissy is so pretty. I'll do the pretty cheerleader. That's easy. It was fine. The background wasn't as difficult as the other ones because it was in a actual like a nature thing, and it was just relatively easier. She's very cute. I tried to make it look like she was crying a bit more. You could see the little tear goblets, but line art was fun with this one. Coloring was easy too. I'll of course have all of the references on the screen of the screenshots that I took from the show. Also, how are you guys liking the overlay I used? This one is inspired by the rainbow room in the Hawkins facility. Only a few people got that when I put it up on my Instagram story. I was like, what is this? And some people got it and some people were like, I don't know. Pride? And I was like, it's July, but Pride's forever, I guess. But the overlay was super fun to make. I think I really like these themed overlays that I like to do. It just gives a bit of panache and I like it. And it sort of added to the whole vibe, and I like how it came out in the end. But we drew Eddie again because of course he has to be in everything because he's the best. I don't know why, he's just such a compelling character. I think it's because the actor is so good at playing him, and then they didn't ruin him. Please don't ruin him. It's interesting because we didn't see a body at the end of it. Of course, he's implied to be dead, but, if you gaslight yourself into thinking he's not dead, then he's not dead. Just how it works. I hadn't done a lot of forest. Like the background of this, it was a forest. And I hadn't done a lot of trees before. I think I should get in a couple of new brushes for that just to make it easier. Just to do it more often. So general advice is to not watch an entire series of a show in one sitting, or not one sitting, over a couple of days. I think I should pace myself a bit better. But I hate Netflix because they just just give us the entire series. And it's like, go have fun in the sandbox. And I'm like, please stop. I think Amazon Prime still does that. The Video, I don't have Amazon Prime Video, but I think I know that. Disney Plus as well, like their Marvel shows, because I've been keeping up with them. They give it every week, and I find that a lot better because it's like just gives suspense to everything. But with Stranger Things, it was like eating at a buffet, but eating everything at the buffet. It's like, please stop feeding me. Stop making so much food, please. Sincerely, me. But yeah, no, Stranger Things is interesting. If you just want to turn off your brain and not think for a while, like Stranger Things is a show for that, I think, because, you know, a lot of things just don't really make a lot of sense. Like, I was sitting there like, I don't really think this is in character for them to do from what we've seen. But I think my experience would be a lot different. I think I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more if I had paced myself, or I had watched it when it came out like a couple of years ago. But I didn't, so my experience is so unique. But yeah, we're getting to a bit of the end of the video. I enjoyed making it, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it. All of my socials are in my description, and everything that I work on is there too. I have an Instagram, I have a Tumblr, I have a Twitter, and I have a TikTok because I'm having a midlife crisis, so I made a TikTok. And it's a party over there. I'm active on all of them, so if you want to contact me, of course, DM, or on Tumblr if you're afraid to ask questions publicly, there's an anonymous section, all that good stuff. Do give that a follow. And now we're on to the transition, so you can see the screenshot versus the actual drawing. And yeah, I had a absolute blast doing this. I hope you had a fun time watching this. All of the characters and everything there. Have a good day, night, or evening, and I hope to see you all back again very soon because there is a video every weekend. I hope you have a good time. Bye!